Facebook, FTC, and Attorney General lawsuits, the real reasons. Sometimes there's the stated reasons, and sometimes there's additional reasons behind the stated reasons. Obviously, I'm not a mind reader, but here are some of the potential reasons behind the reasons for the lawsuits against Facebook. So they say that character is destiny, and this applies not only to individuals, but also companies as well. There's a lot of accountability in this world. It's like, I have some podcasts entitled The Top Half Manages Down and the Bottom Half Manages Up. There's structures in place. That's why we have divided government, the three branches of government. And we also have the fourth estate, the media, although they're largely co-opted in many instances. I mean, a lot of things become co-opted, like there's regulatory capture, there's, a lot of cases of the fox guarding the hen house, but at least in theory and sometimes in practice, there is a division of power and a lot of oversight and accountability. So Facebook has thumbed their nose, and that's putting it mildly, at a lot of people, their consumers, the government. I mean, the Cambridge Analytica scandal and how that was handled is only the beginning. I mean, Facebook has done a lot of egregious things, and Mark Zuckerberg, just a couple additional examples in addition to Cambridge Analytica and how that was handled. He said it was okay to deny the Holocaust. He said that politicians don't have to speak the truth. These were integrated into policies. I mean, some of them I think were later amended. But he's really thumbed his nose and basically said, Facebook can do whatever it wants. It doesn't matter. I mean, obviously Facebook was probably perhaps along with Twitter, but Facebook even more, the major reason for the 2016 Russian interference. It was the major platform for that. And, Facebook has done so much damage, not only in that way, but also in terms of the privacy leaks. And they say that when you get a free service, that you're the service. It's really, I have a podcast entitled Why Facebook and Google Will Have to Pay Us in the Future for Our Attention. It's really true. The only reason there's content on Facebook is Facebook doesn't create the content, we do. The customers do. We post all day long, and all that content Facebook monetizes. And we don't get anything out, we don't get any revenue out of it. In the future, because of blockchain and other things, we're going to own our data. And I think Facebook is way missing the boat behind on that. But Facebook, there's a growing recognition with sustainability, economic sustainability, that you have to factor in externalities. There's all these externalities of people being hurt, by their privacy leaks, by the data being sold, by, all these negative repercussions to human beings, the 2016 election. And these are factored into Facebook's, revenue, but they're finally starting to be factored in because this is hitting them where they're hurt. Like if they have to break up Instagram and WhatsApp and divest them, and even if they don't, just all the monies that are have to be spent on legal fees, the reputational risk, all the people that are hashtag delete Twitter. Now, Facebook has incredible value as well. I'm not saying it's all one-sided. I mean, billions of people use Facebook. I mean, you don't get to be that way. Even Instagram or WhatsApp, they bought them and they did try to crush them out. It's pretty obvious. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but it seems that way from what's reported. But they built them up. I mean, Instagram is much, much bigger and better. I mean, obviously, they also, Instagram basically copied every feature from Snap, which is also another anti-competitive process. I mean, you're allowed to copy to a certain extent, but, Facebook, I mean, I don't know if you're allowed to copy or not, but, I mean, to a certain extent, I mean, there is IP protection, but there's also innovation as well. So, Facebook has done a lot of good, but they've done a lot of bad. And what happens is when you get to a certain point, the reasons behind the reasons is character is destiny. Not only did Facebook do a lot of bad, but Mark Zuckerberg basically said, I don't care. Like the Facebook movie, basically how he stole the company. I don't know if it's proven or not, but there's a lot of allegations and lawsuits that happen. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg has always been kind of like their first slogan, move fast and break things. He's always been, ask permission later. The thing is just do what you want and then ask permission later. And now the permissions are coming due. People are getting tired of now part of this may actually not be due to Facebook. Another reason might just be the government and the Trump administration, which is probably leaving, but Trump is refusing to concede. They hate Facebook because they feel that Facebook favors the liberals and they feel it's anti-conservative. So this might not just be like, with Al Capone, they couldn't get him for murder, so they got him for tax evasion. This feels kind of similar, that they couldn't get Facebook for a lot of the more serious things. So, I mean, antitrust is serious, but they're getting Facebook for whatever they can get them on. And, they feel that Facebook is biased, so they want to get them. It's kind of like political gotcha. I mean, the Democrats want to break up, Facebook also for their own reasons. And some people feel that, the Democrats, want the power for themselves. They don't want the tech companies to get too powerful. They want government to be powerful instead. And the government and technology companies are in competition with each other. So there's a lot kind of behind the scenes that's possible, and you really have to examine it to better understand.